Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. Well, wait, well, were you able to get the audio anyway from like
Yes. From
from your
this.
thing? Oh,
So
okay,
I got
cool.
lucky.
Yeah, I got to learn how to use this whole StreamYard situation. I saw Wutsky just updated the inner circle one to like where it doesn't have the duck in the in the
Yeah,
corner up here.
I saw that too. I meant to text him about that and be like, hey man, what are you guys making some money over there? What's going on?
Bougie, bro. Bougie ass Wutsky, dog. He's living it up. He's living it up, man.
All right, here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Dragging the Table. My name is DJ, and today I have with me Fernando Aguila, aka the homie kAZual.
Yeah. Brr, brr, brr. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm weird right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Right now, today, I am weird. Last night I did the Po' Boy podcast with Jody B, and I got super lit with him, and I feel like we didn't cover anything. Like we just went on rants about this and that. Eventually, he got into some Tekashi 6ix9ine talk, and then I somehow probably diverted it into a different situation. But that was weird. But today I'm on like an hour of sleep, so I feel a little weird, but I'm good. I'm here, bro. I'm here.
Dude, my personal life has gone haywire. It's just tornadoes all in the background. You just can't see it. It's all right off camera. So I am with you. Like it's, okay. You know, when you get sleep, but you wake up and you're like, I don't feel like I slept at all. I know I was for 8 hours, but I just that quick.
Yeah. I have a bad habit of not putting my phone down when I lay down. I go for like second late night like chill. Like I lay down, I'll throw an AirPod in one ear, and then I literally have one of those phone holders that has like the really long neck, and you can just like move it where you need it. Shit. So I'll when I go to bed, I watch a couple tutorials, maybe listen to like some Rogan clips and shit like that. But lately, man, it's just I've been stuck reading all the news and shit, which is horrible because it's always just nothing but bad news. But last night was weird. I know my melatonin is, or not melatonin. What is it? Yeah, melatonin. Is that the pills they want you to take to to go to sleep? I need to start taking some of that shit, or some of that the NyQuil, the ZQuil.
Don't do it, dude. Take melatonin. The craziest dreams that I've had have been on melatonin.
Okay.
Like, my brain goes into overdrive on that. Like it's, they're not lucid, but they're like just on the other side of lucid.
Okay, I'm down for that. I'm down for it. I want to get weird, like the whole Creatures of the Night homies get down. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right. So speaking of all that, plug all your stuff right now. Your podcast, your everything. Go for it.
Hold on. You know what? I just noticed the damn low battery light came on the laptop. That'd be the last thing we'd need. Yay, there we go. Okay, so I am the homie kAZual. That's kAZual 520 across the board. kAZual 520. Old rapper name, you know what I'm saying? Switched it up. And then how I use the AZ in capital letters because that's where I'm from, you know what I mean? So, and then I'm the co-host of the Hood Diner podcast. You can go to thehooddiner.com and you can get the links to all of the socials there and all our sponsors and shit. We're sponsored by Dude Wipes, Official Clothing, Empire Rolling, and Official Clothing is my brand. You're rocking an official hat right there, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for putting in an order, bro. I appreciate it. And man, part of the Inner Circle Podcast Network and shit. And you know, that's pretty much me in a nutshell right there.
Dude, you are more than, first of all, I have to compliment you. You have probably the most well-produced podcast out of anyone that I listen to. Like,
man, that's 2 days in a row. I get a nice compliment from the podcast. I appreciate you, man.
It sounds like a track every time. Like it is. I remember vividly the first time I ever heard an episode because I was like, what is happening? Because I could hear like all of like the diner sounds in the background and someone cooking.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell am I listening to? I'm like, are they in a diner? What is happening? And then the song kicks in and the show really starts. And I'm like, oh, this is a show. This isn't just like some buds like, hey, we're going to talk into a mic. Like this is a thing. So I don't know. I really like your level of production for your show. I mean, everyone on the inner circle is like, we got to try and like get up to Kaz's level. I hear all those little drops everybody tries to put.
I don't say nothing. I just let it ride. I'm like, okay, it's all good, man. You know what? To me, I felt like it's just, to me, it's more than a podcast. Like you say, it is kind of a show to me. Like, I want people that are tuning in to just get caught off guard on different shit. You know what I mean? And just, that's where all the little sound effects come in. But watch, I feel like somewhere down the road, I'm gonna get hit with all the fucking infractions and like, oh yeah, you use this one, all in the same damn podcast. So I'm like trying to like create our own. Eventually we'll start doing our own little sound effects and stuff like that. DJ Century does the greatest crusty laugh. He's like, he does like some crazy creepy shit like that sometimes. But yeah, bro, I've been doing like hip hop music since I was like 18 and shit. So my background started with being able to record. Like, I used to record on Acid DJ. Like, it's super old music programming and shit to record. And I think, I'm just a fan of learning how to do shit. And since I have the Adobe suite for my work, I started using Audition, started watching tutorials on how to make shit sound crisp, how to get rid of background noises and hisses and pops and just different stuff, man. So yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I do. I take pride in the editing. My editing process takes me a good 4 hours, probably, like on an hour and a half podcast, man. But yeah, I feel like it's worth it at the end of the day.
Dude, I'm telling you, it sounds like I like in all of our show, anybody that does an indie podcast, I feel like we're all like producing our own songs every week. Like, you're just trying to put this thing together and make sure that it sounds good enough. But I'm telling you, like, I am not being hyperbolic when I say yours is ridiculous. Like, I feel like I could take one and just study it and be like, all right, if I can just replicate half of what I hear in this, I think I'll be set.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do. I take a lot of pride in the podcast, man, and it's fun. It's been a fun thing. I've met some cool ass people because of it and shit. I've traveled out to New Jersey to hang out with a bunch of weirdos and shit, man. It was fun, and it's crazy how quick it went from being able to go and do all kinds of shit, and then everything just gets shut down. And like, I still have footage. I'm still trying to put together, like, I took so much footage when I was there. I was there having a good time, but I was also working. I was doing video, photos. Me and Joe B recorded a track, and then we recorded a video to that track the next day. And I still have like a stack of work that I got to finish from that. But I look back at it and I'm like, damn, bro, that was literally February. And then the world went to shit like a month later,
Dude, so, you guys just got it in. Like,
barely. Yeah. Thankfully, man, we had a good time,
So how did the podcast come about? Like, have you and Century known each other for a long time and you just always wanted to do something like that, or what?
Yeah, when I started Official, I was still going to school, and that started as a school project. But then, I found Century because he's an embroiderer. He does embroidery. He's a DJ, but his main gig is him and his uncle own an embroidery business, and it's probably the best here in town, man. They do really good work. And so that's how I met him. Every time I was dropping off hats, we would just talk about like hip hop and fashion, and these little 15-minute drop-offs turned into like hour-long conversations. And then one day he hit me up and he was like, hey man, you ever thought about doing a podcast? I'm like, okay, I actually have thought about that, but I never really thought of how I would approach it or what we would do. And then it just turned into two homies talking about shit that they love, food and music and movies and anything pop culture. Lately, that's all we talk about is the damn pops. And it's like, when I say pop culture, I mean that as the whole spectrum. I don't mean just pops, but everybody's like, dude, you guys always talk about these toys all the time on your show. And it's just, yeah, it's been a funny thing. But yeah, it was his idea. And then I came up with the name, with the logo, and then pretty much we just ran with it, man. And we've been having a good time ever since.
Dude, it's wild that so you guys just hit 100 episodes too. And like, like on my other show that I do with my wife, The Untrained Eye, like we just hit our 100. And it seemed like there was like a small group of us that all hit 100 about the same time. Like, did it feel crazy to you? Were you like, I know for us, we were like, it seemed like we just started, and then we're like,
Yeah.
100 already.
Actually, we're recording 95 tonight, bro.
I'm thinking of the plunge then. So
yeah, the plunge to do, and I bring that up. I always give them props because we started at the exact same time. We started with that NSFW podcast network, and me and him, or me and the plunge, we all came in like right around, I want to say like 20, 22, 27, somewhere in there. And those guys have just been grinding, man. Those kids don't stop, bro. They have so much crazy shit to talk about. And then me and Century, we're kind of more lax about it. I mean, we definitely try to deliver every week. That's the goal. But we've had a couple shutdowns over here, like serious ass shutdowns where like curfews like at 8 o'clock. And so yeah, we kind of fell behind. I really wanted to celebrate it at the same time, so it could have been this big old inner circle party, but it just didn't happen. But yeah, we're on 95, bro. We're almost there. But for 100, we're trying. We want to do something awesome, but because of all this bullshit going on, we don't know. But I have like homies that are chefs, and I was gonna have them post up and invite some of our previous guests in. Like I was gonna have Cash come back and just drop by, grub some food, talk on the mic for a little bit. I'm planning on doing this whole big thing, but just the way the situations are, it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good right now. 5 weeks from now, I don't know how much better it's gonna be right now.
Well, has it affected you has it affected you work wise, or are you able to work through all this?
Definitely has affected me work wise. It's been slower. People aren't spending as much money. But I have like a stack of stuff that I need to be doing anyway. So, I'm trying to build up our brand as far as, the Hood Diner. I have lots of official stuff that I'm working on at the same time. So I always have something to do. And like I said, I even have it on my list over here. I got to do all this New Jersey stuff that I got to get done. And I know these guys have been waiting like, damn, when is Kaz going to drop that Smoker Circle podcast and shit? Because after the Super Bowl, we went back to Bobby Moore's house, just me and Joe B and Bobby Moore, Bobby Light, and their homie that's a photographer and shit. And we got obliterated and we recorded it. And we had a camera going at all times. People would forget. We had it on a Lazy Susan. So whoever was talking, we turned it so that it would go. But then there was plenty of times where we just forgot to turn it. So you could just see somebody just like, listening to somebody else like, okay. And then the thing, I know the other thing is like I have to pull the audio probably from the camera because somebody handed me a mic that had like an on-off switch. And my high ass must have turned it off. And so there's like 45 minutes of shit missing. So I got to figure that all out. But yeah, it's crazy. The work has definitely slowed down. And but I feel like things are starting to like, people are getting ready to start spending their stimulus money and shit. So I'm hoping that things pick up. But yeah, as of right now, it's been pretty chill. It's been kicked back.
So is official like the main thing for you, or do you like have
my design work is my main job?
So the kAZual designs?
Yes, sir. That's right. That's everything,
dude. So which came first? Official came first or the design? Well, I guess you said it happened in school, right?
Yeah. When I went to school, went to community college, and there I learned all the different shit, the Photoshop, all the programs. I started two things at the same time. I started a clothing line called Official, and I started a magazine called the 520 because that's our area code out here. But with that was like my way of keeping my foot in the door with the hip hop community and shit. Because it's a young man's game, so it kept me in contact with all the people in hip hop. Next thing you know, every rapper in town wants to be my homie because they want to see this magazine. Like, I'll send you like PDF versions of it. I got rid of the website a while back, but I went all out on that shit, man. I literally developed an entire magazine. I would meet up with people, take photos, interview them, turn that into an article. And I'm not like a writer, but I mean, I could do it. And it was crazy. But then like eventually both of them, like one was making me money and the other one was all love. Like, had to make a choice. So I stuck with the brand, man. But ever since I graduated in 2013, I've been doing just graphics. I do everything, man. I do photo shoots. I've recently started doing video shoots, logos, business cards. Like my honestly, my main my main thing is I'm a small business helping small businesses. That's been a lot of my clientele has been people who have maybe been in a certain industry for a long time and then all of a sudden they got laid off. So then they're starting their own business. I have a couple people who own like granite places where they do countertops and bathrooms and a bunch of salons and barber shops. That was the one thing too. Like I used to have a partner who was a barber, so we posted up at like all the barber battles, and that's why the bracelets are like such a main thing for me, because you know this is barbers all day doing, you know, with their cutting hands and shit. So they love these bracelets. So I've just been making bracelets forever, and but yeah, no, the graphics is my main shit. You know, the official's always just been like a side hustle. You know, I know I could put more time and effort into it, but like I kind of like that it's kind of this elusive, exclusive, underground type of brand that, you know, when we drop, you know, we drop 10 hats. After those 10 hats, it's over. You know what I mean? And then we move on to the next season and different shit. And it's just, it's been fun, man. But yeah, the graphics is definitely my main gig.
Dude, it's funny because I was wearing my official, like the mixtape shirt out, and I was like, I really felt like anyone that looked even in my direction, I was like, yeah, you've never seen this before.
Right.
Ridiculous. Because you're like, what is this? So first, I want to know what, like you say you're a graphic designer, but your reach, I feel like, is far and wide. Like, would you call yourself more of like a
Renaissance man?
Yeah, a Renaissance man, like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, that's what a lot of my homies have labeled me as. They're like, dude, you're such a Renaissance man, bro. You do it all, this and that. I mean, you know what? I feel like I've adopted the cut out the middleman method early, and if I can't do it myself, I'll try to do it. But I mean, yeah, I'm just the type of person who anything I get into, dude, I just set my mind to it. You know, I just set my mind to, like, at least I recently learned how to sew. You know, like during this COVID shit, I've always wanted to learn how to sew with an actual machine, and now I can make my own masks and sew shit onto shirts now, dude. Like it's crazy, but yeah, I'm just a dude who just loves to just handle shit himself, you know. But then sometimes that other homies will be like, you spread yourself too thin, you know. That's what they'll tell me and shit, and that does happen, you know. I feel like sometimes I can overwhelm myself, but there's just a certain pride about just being able to put your name on it and be like, dude, like that's all me, like I did that, you know. And it's a good feeling. Like there'll be days where I'm getting tagged on Facebook by like somebody I did photos for, another person I did a logo for, another person that just got business cards, and it's like wow, man, like I'm helping a lot of people with their businesses moving forward, you know. So it's just, yeah, I just take pride in doing a lot of different shit, man. It's cool,
dude. And if you can do the work of 3 subcontractors, why wouldn't you? You know
right?
What I mean? And you I mean, what was I gonna say? You've got the 3 subcontractors. It was another compliment. Imagine I was going to compliment you.
I appreciate it, man. Cut out the middleman. And I gotta tell you, it's funny you said about the shirt where you're like, you ain't never seen this. I actually had a semi beef with another brand here in town because he thought that I was stealing his styles. And it was funny. Like he hit me up and he's like, why are you jacking my styles? And I was like, bro, we both have hip hop brands. Like we're bound to cross ideas. I'm like, when you talk about hip hop and stuff, eventually you're going to do like a tape or a vinyl record or a microphone. Like those are the elements of hip hop, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy, man. Cause it sucked. Cause it was a guy I had a lot of respect for. I actually did a song with this guy. And now like I have a hard time bumping it because this dude tried to call me out on some shit. And I was like, okay, whatever. But it was that shirt specifically. So every time I see that shirt, I'm reminded of the beef of a guy I used to look up to. And now I can't even talk to this dude, man, because he don't like me.
People are so
it might have been time. It might have been a good time. Maybe he forgot. Who knows?
I don't know, man. it's weird the days you get caught on to where like maybe you wouldn't normally be like that, but everything just came together just right. And you look and you see that shirt and you're like, damn it, man. My
Yeah,
shirt now too. He's got my shirt. Hey
yeah,
man.
right. I mean, yeah, so many things have been done already, like so much stuff. It's hard to find like original items and concepts nowadays, man, because everything's been done, everything's being rehashed, and you just got to figure out a way to put your own twist on it and hope the parody law covers you, and you're good, because you have so many people who have like the Run DMC style shirt, but the DMC will be something else, like somebody down here did Run TUC, and it's like, it's changed up. As long as it's changed more than 25%, I believe it is, you're straight. It's like it's a parody basically is what it boils down to. But that's like when you're doing shit that like looks like other shit. Like you've seen, like I have the one that I sent you was the Outcast.
Dude,
it looks like Outcast, but it says official.
When I walk around with that, I hear So Fresh and So Clean in my head. Just walking,
right.
like it is. It looks. I don't know. It's great. Like I don't know how to describe it because it's so weird. Because you look at it and you can tell that it's not Outcast, but it's because it says like OHFL. What does it say?
Yeah, it's abbreviated. It's like OHFSHL. It's got like the verbs missing and shit minus the O.
I don't know. It looks great. It looks it catches your eye because like I mean, my wife and I would love Outkast, so of course we saw that and we're like, yeah, you're going in the cart right now. It's good. It's just so good.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you. And then it was funny too, because I created like a brand new bracelet the morning that I was making yours before I sent everything out. And I came up with this, I had these little gold dice and I put them in between some black beads. And then a homie man was like, I like that, but I want one that's all gold. And then when I sold him his, like 4 or 5 people were like, I want the same one he has. And so it was crazy. So like that morning, like I was like, I was doing some work and then just put some stuff together. We have those gem shows that come out here, man. And I have like a fat stack of beads that I haven't even touched yet. I have to like literally sit down and start making more bracelets because I'm pretty much sold out. But the other day, I think you might have seen it on my Instagram, the stories. I finally got more of my little tags that go on the bracelets and shit like that. I ordered them from a dude, and he just sent me a fat ass little stack. They're actually right here. Yeah.
Little stack of O's. That was it the Gambler that you made? Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about right there, the Gambler. And then we did an all gold one. And I was like, what should we call this? He was all, call it the High Roller. I was like, that's awesome. Dude. I was like, thank you. I was like, dude, yeah. Yeah, shout out to the homeboy Sonny, man. Like that was a cool ass bracelet. Yeah, everybody's like hitting me up. Yeah, I want that bracelet Sonny's got. I'm like, all right, cool.
So you are gonna make them?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make them, man. It's just it's so I have so many bracelets that I haven't put onto the website. They just half the time they just don't make it there, man. Because I'll get DMs from barbers just like, hey, bro, what do you got right now? So I'll just send them pictures. And they'll be like, I'll take that one, and that one. And then like they never even make it to the website sometimes and shit. So it's crazy. And then plus that right there, I'm such like I don't want to say a perfectionist, but I take my time doing this shit. So I gotta take the photos, I gotta import them, I gotta like make sure the background's nice and bright white and everything, looks good. And it's just time consuming as shit, man. So it's crazy. So that's why I focus more on the graphics because I can just hammer that shit out and get it to the clients and get paid. But like I said, the official shit, it's just a dope ass hobby, just like the way this is the podcasting and shit, man. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's weird that this is. I always never thought of myself as having any hobbies, and I think we were like, it still took me like to be 50 episodes in of the other show to be like, oh, I guess this is something that I like. Because the same way you were talking about like watching tutorials as you're going to sleep, like I'm like, all right, I got to figure out how to edit. Like I don't know what I'm doing at all. Like learning everything from scratch is crazy.
Right, it is, man. But it can be done. That's the crazy part. Like there's people that just don't know how to learn.
Yes.
Like I bring this up when people talk about like when someone says YouTube University, I can just skip going to college or whatever. Sorry.
That's all right.
And the thing that I always bring up about school, like about going to school, is school teaches you how to learn, you know, not just, it doesn't just give you shit. It shows you like there's methods of how to learn, you know, and some people just don't, they can't grasp it. Like they see shit and they just, it's Greek, you know, off top, you know, but it's literally just, you know, you got to just read a little bit, know what programs do, what does that button do, what will happen if I run it through this and I put this kind of a filter on it and do this thing in the background, and you know, all this different shit. It's like that with anything, you know, like with the mechanic, he learns a engine, you know. I'm thankful I have a brother-in-law who's a mechanic, because I am scared as shit of cars and engines and stuff like that, but to him it's like it's nothing. I watch him, like when he does like my oil changes, and he just switched out these what the hell do they call it, capacitor.
Oh no,
No, there were these things that I have, and anybody who has like an old GM car can testify. There are these things, actuators, actuators, and they go brrr, like when you get in the car, and when you turn it from hot to cold, or you turn it from, like, you know, this side to this side. I had like 3 of them that needed to be replaced, and so did my dad's Impala. Like we both have Impalas, and I watched, like, he took my car and did mine, but then I watched him do my dad's, and I was like, wow, bro, like it's crazy that you know how to just get in there and switch shit out and do all kinds of shit, man. That shit's foreign to me, but it's like with anything, man. If you really take your time to learn it, you know, I'm pretty sure you'll figure it out. It just takes practice, you know.
It's funny because I didn't learn you have to learn how to learn thing until way after school. Like it just never ever made any sense to me at all. I was like, this is all useless. I don't know why I'm doing any of it. And really, it actually really was YouTube. That it wasn't just because it's not just one way of explaining it. Like I can watch someone talk about it and go, I think I know what they're talking about, but I'm going to watch somebody else, and then they explain it in that way that, like, I'm so dumb that they have to be like, all right, you do this, then you move the mouse up here and you press edit.
Yes, exactly. There's certain people who think they know how to teach, but there's other people out there that really, really know how to explain shit. And I always say this, man. I always say, God bless the nerds, because without YouTube, man, who knows? I've learned so much from YouTube. Even after graduation, man, I have to keep up with all the updates that Photoshop puts out, that Adobe Illustrator puts out, that Audition puts out, you know, all the different programs and shit, because shit's getting easier and easier. They're figuring out, like, what is it that people want that our programs do, you know? So you got to keep up with that shit. And you got to know, you know, how to pay attention to somebody and shit, man.
It's, I don't know. I'm to the point now to where I'm like, I'm 37 years old. I'm like, am I too old to learn how to do all that? Because it's like, you almost have to figure out how to delegate your time now. Because I'm like, all right, if I know I have to work my normal job, and then I know I have a certain amount of time after, you know, in between my hobbies and whatever else to learn something. And what if I get like 6-8 months, a year deep into this, and I'm like, okay, I'm not only am I not good at it, maybe I don't like it like I thought I did. Like it's a weird spiral that I end up getting myself into of like, I know, because honestly, like when you were talking about when I really started to connect between the official and the casual designs and everything, I was like, clearly there is something there. Like, you know, there is a need out there for something like that. And you're over there on the West Coast. Who's doing it over here on the East Coast?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, am I too far behind the 8 ball to be like, I don't think I can be the jack of all trades that Kaz is, but maybe I can learn how to take the background out of a photo.
Hey, anytime you ever have any questions, man, feel free to hit me up. But I don't think it's ever too late to learn, man. I went back to school at like 30, I think. You know what I'm saying? And I lived my life thinking that I needed to just have a good 9 to 5 and get retirement from that. And I don't diss anybody that lives that lifestyle. But when I got with my wife, her mom owns a salon, you know, and then my wife, she tried to follow in her mom's footsteps when she was around 18, 19. She the chemicals and everything messed up her hand so bad that she had to like drop out. So then she had a bunch of jobs, and then she went back to school for business, and then eventually she got that under control to the point to where she went back to beauty school, and now she runs this salon with her mom. But I say that to say this, basically, like just being around my mother-in-law and seeing what it was to be a business owner, and seeing how this woman, if she wanted to take a vacation, she could take a vacation. If she wanted to do this and do that, she was her own boss. She didn't have to answer to anybody, and I loved that. I was like, damn, like I need to do that. So that influenced me. And then also I was working with my homie Chef Mondo at a sorority house at the University of Arizona and shit. So I was surrounded by college kids, and just being around them and seeing how they had their plans like laid out. A lot of these kids that are involved in that whole Greek life and everything like that. It's a like, I'm not saying it's a cult, it's like a culture. And they look out for each other. You know what I'm saying? That's why those dues are so expensive, because you're kind of buying your way into like a family, a lifetime family of a certain set of people. And they look out for each other throughout the years and shit. Andy Bernard always was dropping shit about going to Cornell and saying they have an extensive group of groups that help each other out and all this shit. He wasn't lying, man. And like just being around those kids, man, it made me want to go back to school. The fact that my wife did it 2 times while I was with her, I was like, yeah, dude. I'm like, if she can go back to school twice, I need to do this at least once. And that in combination with the homie of mine who was doing websites. And I always bring up the story about when I was in San Diego and La Jolla with him, and he has his laptop on this kitchen table over there, and he's like, you see that right there? And I'm like, what's that, bro? He's like, that's my office right there. And I was like, damn, like that right there made me want to like bro, I need to be able to do that too. And now basically that is my life, man. Like I can work anywhere there's Wi-Fi. If there's Wi-Fi, I can make money from wherever I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is like, it's awesome. But it's it's not always all sunny sunsets and palm trees and shit, because when you're self-employed, there's a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your own insurance, you got to get your own taxes are completely different. There's so much different shit to it, man. But I do love the freedom part of it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be up till 7 a.m. doing work, and then I'll sleep while the sun's out because it's hot as shit out here, and then get up and then start my work day again. And it's crazy, man. I'm trying to adjust, but it's just the way I've been living, man. It is what it is.
Well, I think that's too what's cool about what I have found that's been good about starting a podcast and finding that there was an indie community out there. Because honestly, when I first started The Untrained Eye with my wife, like I was like, do people even do this? Like I thought it was just famous people that did it. And then, slowly you start using, you read all the Google articles that are like, put every hashtag you can think of. And then the hashtags, you're like, oh, look, there's somebody else out here. What's going on? And like now, I feel like, between all the inner circle guys and, all of the podcasts that we interact with now, it's a way of getting what you get from your mother-in-law. Like we see all these people doing just a crazy array of different things that who knows what they do in their real life, but they're like, this is what I like to do. I've decided to spend a bunch of time on this. And, as much as I'm apprehensive to try something new, like I'm around people doing new things all the time, every day.
Yeah, man. It's just you gotta surround yourself with people that feel the exact same way as you do, man. Like I said, when I stopped doing that that magazine, I got a lot of I want to say a lot of hate for that, because all of a sudden these guys that wanted me to put them in this magazine, now I'm hitting them up and, hey, you want to buy a t-shirt, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, well, yeah, bro, but damn, that sucks. You're not doing the magazine no more and shit. Like, so I feel like I caught a lot of slack for that. And so then like when with the whole Hood Diner shit, I wanted to try a different approach. So like I said, around episode 18, 19, I was like, I don't want to depend on like the same people here, because it sucks to say it, but just like, it's just a lot of hating going on anywhere. Anytime you're trying to do something better yourself and people aren't on that level, man, you just catch a lot of hate for it. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to find like-minded individuals that were doing the same shit. I was looking for small podcasts and people that were up and coming. And I was like, I want to build a community outside, because even before I started the podcast, I was getting more sales on my website. I still, to this date, I still sell more out of town I mean, it's kind of picked up lately, but I sell more out of town than I do in my own city sometimes. So I was like, well, if that's that, if I'm going to take that approach with the podcast. So I wanted to, like, I started looking online, like you said, looking up the hashtags, seeing how many followers people got like that. And then somehow I landed on this podcast called Sipping and Swearing. And then they were down with these girls called These Drunk Bitches. And then they were down with Wutsky and all them. They were part of the NSFW podcast. And then I just reached out to them. I was like, this is cool. Y'all got each other's backs. Y'all are from a bunch of different states, probably never even met each other, but you have that same common goal of putting out a quality podcast for people, to listen to and shit, man. And like, I feel like that's the biggest thing that I've loved about the inner circle, man, is like we've done nothing but lift each other up, you know what I'm saying? And it's just been a cool thing. And now, like, I have people in New Hampshire that reach out to me on Twitter, like, oh man, this episode was great, and people in Florida and people in, in Chicago and shit, man. Like, we got fans in different states. This shit's crazy to me, bro. It's crazy as shit, but it's fun. And that's what I do love about the podcast. Is the podcast. I just knew for a minute that it was going to be the next big thing. I remember when we started, I remember telling Century, I was like, dude, watch. I was like, by the end of this year, once we drop this podcast and once people see the graphics that I'm going to throw behind this shit, people are going to be like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do a podcast. And I've seen so many start and they don't make it past like 25 sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I feel like that's that number. That's that evil number that people have to get past, because 25 weeks straight, man, you got to, that's a lot of work. And if you can handle that, then you're golden. But a lot of people don't realize the amount of work that really does go into it. Even though it's like an hour-long podcast, shit, you got to plan that shit out. If you have like a good show, you got to have stuff to talk about. You got to have questions for your guests and, all that shit. Make sure the quality sounds good. It's a lot to it, man.
It's so much to think about that. Yeah, it's like that. Like it almost is overwhelming. And yeah, I almost think 25 is too generous. Like if people get to 5, I'm like, all right, I think you did it.
All right. Oh man,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I always bring up like the first 18 episodes, bro. Like we were just eating on the microphone left and right, like just I'm just grubbing. And until the Duchess said that, like when we were eating some gummy bears, she's like, it sounds like y'all are sucking some dick on the mic. And I'm like, wow, yeah, that's it. That was where it ended. That's where we started doing something new, like on video. Like we do that. That's part of our little Patreon thing. And I know a lot of the homies, they're not fans of Patreon. Like we'll have the group chat, and anytime I bring up the Patreon, it gets all quiet. And like we were like, oh, I'm not a fan of putting stuff behind a paywall and shit. But it's like it's a whole extra thing. Me and Century, every week we take turns going out and finding something new, whether it be a snack or something to eat or something to drink, and then we give like little reviews on the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's separate. So that's what we put on our Patreon and shit. And then also we have like really cool stuff that you can get there that you can't get anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So we make it worth it for the people who do sign up. It's like $3 a month. That ain't shit. That's not even a full Starbucks, bro. That's, you know what I'm saying? And we, like I said, we try to make it worth it and shit like that. But it's fun, man. And right now we're doing all right. At this point, we actually have enough Patreon people that our website and our hosting is like paid for. You know what I mean?
And so that's it.
Like, yeah, we don't have to worry about nothing. And I'm like, dude, if we can get 100 people to sign up, they're giving us $3, like all the food that we buy for something new will be covered. We'll be able to do upgrades to all our shit. I'll be able to like pocket a little bit for all the work that I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, nothing in this motherfucker's free, man. So it's just, that's the thing. So we try to make it worth it for people and shit like that. But yeah, there's a lot of work, bro. Like I finally set up the Patreon at episode like 89, and we've been doing this since like 27. So there's like 60 plus videos, and I'm barely like maybe 8 deep right now. I'm trying to catch up. It's just a lot of stuff, but it's fun. It's fun. It's a good time.
I will say we did try the orange cream Twizzlers, and they were delicious.
Oh God, those were weird. Those were so weird, man.
They
Yeah,
were super weird because they were so soft. Like they did not have Twizzler consistency at all.
not at
they were like
all.
soft ice cream or something. It was so weird, but they were
Yeah.
delicious.
It was an orange sickle melted and then jellified. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was weird. And then
But
but tonight I'm stopping at Taco Bell because Taco Bell got these fake ass Dole Whips that they're selling and shit. They got like these pineapple fizz drinks and shit. It's supposed to be like a Dole Whip. If you're a fan of the diner, man, I there was like a period where I brought up Dole Whips so much that when somebody wanted to diss us, like at one of like the what do they call those, the roasts and shit, they would be like, "Oh, you be as much as the hood diner likes Dole Whips and all this other shit." You know what I'm saying? This is like it became a thing, and like people bring it up to me every now and then. Like they'll send me like screenshots of Dole Whips. I have homies that when Disneyland was open, they're going to Disneyland, they're taking a picture with their Dole Whip. Hey, Kaz, check it out, bro, Dole Whip. You know, it's just it became a thing. So yeah, that's what we're trying on, something new tonight, dude.
that's awesome.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
As far as the Patreon goes, though, like I think people, especially the indie podcast, I'll just speak for myself. What Patreon does for me is expose how uncreative I am, because I'm like, all right, this is what I try and think about what I'm already putting out there. And I think of what would be something that would be still worth hearing, but we wouldn't be like jealous of it because it's behind a paywall now and no one can see it. And it makes you think about what you do in such a way that I really think I know it makes me sad about myself, because I'm like, God dang it, why can my brain not go that extra to figure out what it is? Because I'm like, oh, we'll do movie reviews, but like, why? Like, who is going to want to pay to hear us be like, Back to the Future, they had some inconsistencies in time.
Right. In this scene, you can see Marty McFly was facing left, but in the next scene, he was facing completely right. Yeah,
That
no,
again was from 1943.
yeah, I get that. And I've been wanting to subscribe to Delvin Cox's Patreon to see what it is that he does different as well too, because I've seen that he has that, and then like you say, yeah, you got to find something extra that you can do for the audience. And like I said, for us, it just became because of the fact that we just weren't doing it on the mic anymore. So I was like, well, let's just start recording it. And then we have all these built up. So it's like, all right, you know what? We have some different conversations as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of got that ASMR feel to it too, because you can hear motherfuckers eating and shit. And it's like, yeah, but I try to do just different shit as far as the Patreon. I do have like different sets of questions that sometimes I'll ask the guest that will go up there, and then like I said, we're still learning as we go. But I mean, like I said, man, $3, that ain't shit, man. That ain't shit to support your homies. You know what I mean?
A month, come on,
right? Right. And then like I said, we have different packages, man. Like we have the breakfast plate is the intro, yep. And then the lunch plate is every month I send like a different swag bag is what I call it, where that's where we have like different Hood Diner stickers, or I'll get stuff from official. Like this last month, anybody who signed up, I gave them the pins, like these little metal pins that I got, these little gold and silver ones. And then the month before, I gave official face masks along with like some Hood Diner stickers. So to me, it keeps me having to get myself like some merch going for the podcast, and that's what you get if you do like the $10 package. And then we have like a $30 package, which gets you like a shirt, because DJ Century has the capability. He has his uncle, they have a direct to garment printer. So like I can print shirts on demand. So even if I only had one person sign up to that, boom, every month they're going to get a new shirt that I design. It'd be like an official Hood Diner collab. And then the $60 package will be a shirt and a hat. But that's custom shit. You know what I mean? That's custom shit. And then of course that includes like the shipping and all that stuff like that. So it's, it's there for like the people who want to do it. We don't have any yet, but I have a feeling eventually we'll get somebody in there that's
You need to entice them in with a God tier of like $10,000, and you'll go to them and like record one episode of the Hood Diner with them or something.
show them how to record shit and be like, look, this is what I do. I'll give you the secrets. I don't know if you do this. There's sometimes where I'll give secrets, and then when I'm listening to it later on, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bleep that out.
You know what's so
greedy with it.
Secrets. I want to like screenshot the time code because I'm like, dude, can I tell you? I understand when you're like, I don't want to tell anyone these secrets, because when I would figure stuff out, well, like even just on Audacity, it was so crazy because I was barely holding on by my fingertips, and I would have people message me like, hey man, how do you whatever on Audacity? And I'm like, oh my God, I have some power now. What's going on?
Right. Look at you, the audacity of you asking me this. Yeah. I always say, sometimes you give them the sauce, but you don't give them the full recipe. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you can sprinkle a little bit in there and shit. And we give away all kinds of different game, like Century. I love it when he talks about DJing and scratching and mixing and all this shit, because I'm like, that's another little sub hobby that I did. Like when I used to run a event center a couple years back, and I would bartend there, but like we had paid, the DJ made more money than anybody at these parties and shit. So I was like, fuck man, like I wound up buying myself like a little controller, and I actually booked myself for a couple DJ spots there and shit. But you got to have the music, you got to have the ear for it, you know what I mean? But I love it when he talks about that shit. And it's just like with me, like I'll give people some game on, where you can get this, or where, the best place to go for graphics is, or the best, shortcuts for this and that. And it's just, sometimes I give it out, sometimes I don't, man. So it just depends on how I feel that week, bro.
I mean, listen, everybody can't have everything. You had to go to school a little bit, and it wasn't free.
Exactly. No, it is not free. I'm still paying for that shit.
Look, your time's not free either.
Yeah, definitely.
By the way, it is amazing how many people, when you get a little bit of knowledge and let people know, how they're like, hey, man, I just need this one little thing real quick. Can you just do that real quick?
Oh, like, yeah.
And then they're like, what do you mean it's going to cost X dollars? Like, I don't know. Like, this is my time. That's all we're friends. Like, nah, man, we're friends, but you still got to pay.
There's a meme that came out a while back that said, RIP to all the conversations I would have after I showed them the cost or some shit like that, dude. Like, it's like, yeah, I get hit up daily. Like, hey, bro, I need to get a logo. How much for this? And I'm like, all right, send me an email and I'll send you the proposal. And the proposal has like everything laid out. It talks about what you're going to get, and the time frame and the payment schedule. And then I just like, I'll see that it says it's been opened, but then I won't hear nothing back from people and shit. And I'm just like, you know what, that's, I mean, I've come to that point to where like, I'm not afraid to say no and shit. I had to learn that the hard way, getting into like projects with people who are just like difficult to work with and shit, man. And like nowadays I talk to people, I get like a vibe from them before I even commit to any work. Now I've learned, bro, for reals. And it's just, I have no problem telling people no, man. And I'll lie. I'll be like, well, bro, right now I'm really, really backed up, and I'll get with you as soon as I have an opening. Okay. And then just never happens. Been busy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You ever give the joyful, like, I just don't want to do this? Like, have you ever had that? Like,
I've never been that bold to do that to somebody, man. At the end of the day, I may talk a lot of shit, but then I'll start to feel bad about it. So most of the time I'll come up with a really good lie and just be like, oh man, that's not really my forte, bro. I could send you to somebody else. And then next thing you know, that's their problem. But yeah, no, I'm usually like pretty chill about it. Like, I'm just busy
by the way,
now.
The best way I found, you don't have to lie. You don't have to make up an excuse. All you have to do, because I worked in construction for so long, so many people would hit me up like, hey, can you help me do this? And I have an idea of how much that stuff would cost, and I would just times it by 3 and be like, okay, it's going to cost you $3,000 for me to do. I could get the guy to do it for $1,000. Like, you better call the guy.
Hit him up, dude.
Do it for $3,000.
Hector down the street said he cut it for 15. Well, go ahead and let him fuck your head up. That's what I always think about. I always think about that part. Fuck your head up, then.
Dude, so is it you that like somehow like adjacently got my Instagram? All the search algorithm is just different barbers like doing their crazy barber tricks or like doing lines, because like I will be sitting on Instagram for 30 minutes and be like, I've watched 100 barber videos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then once you go down that hole, it's like he likes barber stuff. Let's keep throwing it at him.
Dude,
You know?
it won't stop. Every like there's I get all the straight razor stuff. I get all the like homeless man that they, turn into a GQ model, all of it.
Yeah, man. I got to give it up for the barbers, man. Like that's a cash business. So those guys are always like they're either buying shirts or, like I said, buying bracelets from me. I do a lot of their like business cards. There's shops where like I literally do everybody in the shop's card. Like they have like one universal card, and the owner will send me like a name. This is the new guy, and all I have to do is go in and switch out like the name and then their Instagram handle and their mobile number, and then I order their business cards and shit, man. Like they're just it's one of those it's just one of those industries, man, that's always popping. Like even when they did like a total shutdown here in Arizona, they left us on the essential shit for a good while till people complained about it. It was also because our governor's wife has fucking salons and shit. Like it was there's been this little conspiracy going on and shit. And so yeah, for a while there, it was like, oh, well, you got to do social distancing. How are you going to social distance as a barber? You're all up in their grill, cutting and shit and doing all that shit. So, like, and like even with my wife, man, I worry about her because she's doing that shit. But we made a requirement at our salon where they have to wear the face mask or they can't come in, and like a lot of the ladies there, they're just, they either have like a husband that's got this or themselves got something that everybody's like kind of more paranoid about it now. Yeah, and you see these numbers have been rising in Arizona. It's just been crazy and shit. So they're quick to tell somebody, no. You put your fucking mask on right now, or you got to go.
Have you had anybody get wild or like, I will not stay?
The Karens? Nah, thankfully we haven't had any Karens at the salon, man. I mean, but there was the slap heard around the world was that one Karen in that convenience store where she told her to go back to Mexico, and then what did the five fingers say to the face? Like she slapped the shit out of her, and next thing you know, she's immortalized as like a comic book character smacking the shit out of her. Like it looks like the Batman and Robin meme, but it's this lady, and it's like, go back to Mex, slap. So yeah, there's been a whole lot of that shit going down here, man. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't get these people, man, but I get it. People love their freedoms, bro. They love their freedoms.
Man, okay. So what do you really think about that? Do you think that wearing a mask is taking away a freedom?
I know. I think that's so dumb to be like, you're infringing on my First Amendments and all my amendment rights and all this. Like, come on, man. It's not like they're asking you to like pin a fucking swastika to your sleeve and chip the mark of the beast and all that shit, man. It's a fucking mask and it's temporary. It's not going to be forever, that's how I look at it, man. I don't think it's if it's. I always go back to the whole shit, like where yeah, granted, the people love to hit you with the facts where they're like, oh, well, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. It's still going to get you sick. But guess what, bro? Like, if it's raining and I have a fucking umbrella, I'm not going to get that much on me. I might get wet, but not as much. So if I got to fucking do that to, at least slim my chances down, then so be it,
Like, my thing is I've heard people make the argument of, well, we're making these business owners police the people that come in. Like, okay, but what about the business owners that have the no shoes, no shirt, no service? What about the ones that don't allow smoking because it's federally prohibited? Like they're having to enforce those laws in their business, and no one was worried about that when that was happening. And now we've got this thing that makes your face hot a little bit, might fog up your glasses, right. And they're losing their mind.
People are like, oh, you can pass out and you can get, and I get there is certain people out there that probably can't do it, but it's not asking too much, man. And it's just, I think that in combination with this is something completely new. Like this came out of nowhere, and lately I've been kind of feeling it too, man. Like the other day we were gonna go up to Phoenix to go to IKEA and shit, and like I was excited for that, and then something came up and we didn't go, and then I was like, fuck, man, like I miss going out. I miss, like, I got a couple boxes of new shoes I want to break in and wear them out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I got me a couple new jerseys and shit like that, and I want to rock some shit. But you know, I can put that on hold for a while. But there's people who just absolutely can't. You know, they're just like, no, I gotta get out, and I get it. Certain people's brains work in different ways, man, and like, you know, it's sad, but you know, it's not asking. It's not asking too much. I don't think it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Adam Simmons will probably disagree with me right now, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. He always gives Bobby more shit for him coming over wearing his mask. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal, man. But there's ways to go about it. You know, you can't just walk up to somebody and say like, "Put the mask on or get the fuck out." You know, like you got to be like civil about this shit. And like I said, I think it's just because of what this is, and it's just new to everybody. I think everybody's just like weirded out about it. Nobody really can explain it, and you know, everybody. And then, dude, the media doesn't help. You know, the media doesn't help with shit. You know, it's an election year. All that shit ties into just a bad bag of what the fuck is going on. You know, and I get it. I get why people are on edge and shit, but you got to check yourself, because the people will check you right now. Like the whole nation is in check mode, you know,
yeah.
with all the riots and the protesting and shit like that, man. People are ready to like tell you like what's up, you know. So you just gotta mind your P's and Q's and just you know, do what you got to do, you know,
or get rolled over, because that seems
exactly
happening right now.
Yeah,
people in the mask that are yelling, or that are in their mask that get mad. I feel like you get braver to yell at someone when you can't. Your whole face is covered, pretty much. You get this weird confidence that you would never have to be like, "Hey, you're a bad person."
Yeah,
you would
I
never.
trip out thinking about poor bankers and convenience store clerks just like looking at people with masks on their face and like, are you just a customer, or are you here to rob me? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy. I love the memes where it like shows like West Side Connection and it says 90s gangsters and then 2020s law-abiding citizens. You know what I mean? And it's just
Little blonde children in masks.
yeah, dude. I mean, it's crazy, bro. It's unexplainable. It really is. It's just a trip. And and since I work from home, I'm already here, so I've been kind of going a little stir crazy. We had like, you know, we had a vacation we had to cancel. We were going to go to Alaska, and we just love getting out of town. Me and my lady, like, that's what we live for. We love to get out of town. We just love seeing new places and shit. And it's kind of sucked, you know, but I mean, it's not too much to ask, bro. You know what I'm saying? If I got to stay home to keep my ass alive and keep the rest of my family alive, then I'm here, bro. I'm here.
And I mean, if you need to see the outside, I mean, I feel really like I'm maybe too flippant about the whole thing, because I have been able to work this whole time, and I work outside. So I get all the vitamin D I can handle. I am just out in the world. I can hear birds chirping and, you know, see trees with the breeze going through them. So I don't feel like I'm trapped anywhere. And I don't know if I would just walk laps around my house or just mow the grass every day or what, but something. Like, as much as I really don't like to work outside, but in times like since all of this has happened, I realize that there is a benefit to it, because there are people that I'm sure would love to work a week of my job just so they could be outside.
Yeah. Well, I think like for 5 years when I was younger, I did auto glass, like windshields and shit. And that was just a horrible period of my life, working in and out of like hot ass cars, always having like different glues and shit stuck to your fingers and shards of glass. And like, you know, it makes me appreciate the fact that I get to work from an air conditioned room, you know, in my pajamas if I want to.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, and I've thought about that, like with Wutsky and with you and with like even Jody B was saying, like you guys have been essential like this whole time, so nothing's really changed. But you know, I worry about that shit. Like let me ask you this: like when you go, if you leaving work and you stop at like a convenience store and shit, are you like grabbing the door handle normally and shit and touching anything and everything, or are you kind of like iffy about like how you do shit nowadays? Are you a little more on it or no?
So I wasn't really at first. I would say I wasn't even wearing a mask. Like I was just like, I don't know. I just so part of what I do for work is I clean swimming pools. So I'm literally sticking my hands in bleach water all day. Like that's just all I'm doing. So I just, even though I'm not a doctor or a scientist, I'm like, okay, this is good enough to keep me clean. But now, since everything like opened back up and then it happened like we all thought it would, and cases spiked like crazy, I bought a mask. And now I like try and time it just perfectly so someone else is opening the door and I can snake my way in.
You're that shuffle guy that like walks slow until somebody else does it. You sprint on in and shit behind somebody else. That's cool.
And then I'll just get exactly what I came for. And I do the thing. You know what's funny is I for a couple times I did the thing where like wherever I would naturally grab the handle to like open the door to get a whatever, like some water or whatever, I was like, oh, maybe I'll go low on the handle or high on the handle.
Yup.
Everybody's doing that.
Everybody is, bro. Everybody. I'm a weirdo. I'll go up to it with like my pinky and I like get the very bottom, but somebody else has probably touched that already and shit, man.
Dude, you know what's funny is I was doing that, and then one of the guys that I snaked in after he opened the door, I saw him do that. He intentionally, I saw him like almost go for the normal spot and then go for the bottom, and I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you touch it. It's fine.
I see people wearing gloves and, you know, they've been buying those keychains that have the little hooks on them. So that's how they open doors and shit like that. And I seen a dude doing that at the ATM the other day. I was like, it's actually not bad right there. I told my lady, I was like, we need to get some of them little finger condoms that you could just put on the tip of your finger and just beep, 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 and then just throw it away when you're done and shit. But yeah, I have a big ass box of wipes and some fucking 70% alcohol in the car. And like when I get back in from doing shit, I go to Fry's to get some milk and all that shit. And I come back in first thing, clean everything off. You know what I'm saying? Take my mask off. You know, I'm trying to be safe about it. I'm probably being overly paranoid, but you know what? I'm a older dude. I'm a overweight dude, man. Like it's attacking those people and shit. So I'm trying to do everything I can to not get the Rona. I don't want to be that guy that died from the Rona, man. I don't.
I mean, the numbers are in your favor to survive and thrive if you got it. So
yeah,
faith.
I mean, I hope so. But yeah, that's where we're at in these fucking days right now, man. It's a crazy thing.
So when do you see? So really, you said your design company hasn't like it's slowed down a little bit, but it's picking back up.
Yeah. It's just chill. It's like I said, I've always had like I always have stuff on the back burner that I still can work for myself that I really need to do. So when there's no work, I kind of appreciate it because it's almost like time for me to get my shit together. You know, like I said, I've been doing these Patreon videos. I want to get all the Jersey stuff done. I don't even have my own website yet, man. Like a personal website as of now. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day. I was like, man, I'm mad thankful that just word of mouth has been like the greatest tool for me because like I said, I don't even have a fucking website. Graduated in 2013. So that's like 7 years that I've just been putting in work, building up my portfolio and shit. And then plus my procrastinating ass, like I'm just like, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be great. It's got to represent all my best work. So then I like psych myself and I'm like, that's a lot of work, bro. Like, are you ready to tackle that yet? And I've been putting it off. But I definitely need to do it. And I already know, like, I just feel like my business will double the second people can be like, oh shit, like that's what you do. Oh, okay. I like all this shit, you know, and it's crazy. It's just one of those things where it's like, you've been putting it off, but like, I'm kind of almost like afraid of it because I'm like, wow, it's going to get crazy. If I thought I didn't have time now, I feel like once I get that website up, it's going to be like double that. So, I mean, but I want to do it. Like this month is my birthday month. So I really want to like get it done sometime this month and shit and be able to celebrate that just since I have the time now, you know?
So if it doesn't happen though, don't feel bad. And you said it, word of mouth. The company that I work for now has been around for, I think they're coming up on 40 years. They have never put out an advertisement once anywhere. And we have the only time that we ever lost so much work that I actually got laid off was in 2009 when we had that economic decline and everybody lost everything all at once. And of course, no one's trying to buy, 60, 70, $80,000 pools when they have no money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it's been a trip. It's definitely been a trip, and people just, they'll be in the I like asking them where they referred to me from, you know what I mean? Because I love, definitely, like, if somebody's like, oh yeah, such and such person said that, and then if that person does come through and give me a deposit or whatever, I love reaching out to the other person and saying, hey man, thank you, your buddy such and such just hit me up, I'm doing work for him, and this and that. And then some people will just be like, yeah, I was scrolling through Instagram and I landed on one of your designs, and here I am. But most of it's, yeah, like I said, it's word of mouth and shit, and it's been good. It's been really good. I've been blessed with that.
Dude, your stuff is all really eye-catching. Like, I was just talking about this the other day about how for podcasts anyway, like the I always call it the album art, but like the cover, you know what I mean? Like I'll just call it the album art of the podcast. Yeah. Like it really does make a difference, because there are podcasts that I have been scrolling through Instagram and I stop and go, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to check it out because it looks cool.
Right.
And, like, I don't know. You know how to do that, and there's proof now, because you did one of the coolest things that I don't know, I think it's awesome, which was you got to do some art for was it a TV show or a movie?
Oh, dude, yeah. Shout out to Mikey from Failing Hollywood. He hit me up, or like when I went to go visit him, like me and Century were supposed to roll to Hollywood to have like a little West Coast Inner Circle meetup last year. Mm-hmm. And Century he had some shit come up last minute, and I was almost going to bail on it. But like my cousin, who is like just like one of my number one fans, lives in New Mexico and Albuquerque and shit. And he was like, nah, man, you should definitely go. Like anytime anybody offers you a place to stay and you can get out and get new experiences in, he's like, definitely do that shit. So like I went out there and I got to meet all them, man. We did a bunch of podcasts. Riley flew out from New Hampshire to go stay at his brother's and shit. And we just had a bomb ass time. And while I was out there, I just kind of expressed that to Mikey. I was like, bro, like one of my dreams is to like see my name in credits of like a movie. Like as they're going up, you see all these names and shit, you're just tripping out. You're like, look at all these names. Like, what the fuck? But like to actually be able to see that shit, I told him, I was like, that's a dream of mine. So, I kind of planted that seed to him. And because he's a prop master, he works in different movies and Netflix. He's done some really big shit. He did Kendrick Lamar's swimming pools video, and he's just done a lot of cool shit. So one day he hit me up and he was like, hey man, I'm working on this Hulu show. It's Blumhouse produced, and it's gonna get some good airtime. Like the objects that I'm asking you for, they're gonna be on the screen. And so I did what did I do? I did a bumper sticker. I did a mock-up of a spray bottle, and then some mints, some marijuana mints, and I got to name them. They were called Mintawanas. And next thing you know, when I'm watching it, fucking Carrie Mahoney from Police Academy's holding the fucking thing I designed. I was like, God damn! I was like, dude, that is awesome right there, bro. But yeah, man, he made that happen, because he was in charge of all the props and shit. And there's certain things that he just doesn't want to do, so he delegated that work to me. And man, it was just a really cool. It's a cool ass thing to be able to watch something on TV and see your shit there, man. Like there's no better feeling to me. I just love, being able to say like, I created that. That's awesome right there. And yeah, I'm hoping he reaches out for more whenever he starts work back up. I told him, I'm like, hit me up, bro. Like I will do this shit, man. Just, he knows. And like, so yeah, that's been a cool ass thing, man. I love that. I haven't really wanted to like post anything else on my Instagram, because it's like right there at the top and it says Hulu. And then somebody said that about me the other day. Like somebody was like, yeah, man, my dude did some shit on Hulu. And I was like, damn, I was like, that's fucking cool, bro. Like, thank you and shit. It was crazy. But yeah, man, that was all Mikey, man. All Mikey T from Failing Hollywood, man. Shout out to him. He made that happen. And yeah, it was a good experience.
I don't know if he was talking about it on his show or when I know he's in New Hampshire now, or if he was with Riley saying it. But to anyone who thinks like, oh, this is just a favor and they knew each other and he just like let him do whatever. like I heard Mikey talking about it, and he was like, I heard him go into what I call boss mode, and like you can hear when somebody turns the work on. He was like, no, I told him that I needed this, this, and this, and it needed to be in this amount of time, and if he couldn't do it, I'm moving on. And you could just hear the seriousness in his voice, and I was like, oh, so this is all good. This is like I don't know. I at least want you to know I appreciate what you had to do in the time you had to do it, of like coming up with something out of nowhere and just being like, all right, and here it is. I hope you like it.
Yeah, I think that was fuckboy Freddie that was talking some shit one day. I think I heard that episode too. Me and Freddie be fucking bullshitting with each other. But yeah, no, I mean shit. You know, if Freddie could have done it, they would have hired his ass to do it. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, it was. I mean, you know, to me, that's everyday shit, man. Like doing product mock-ups and just coming up with shit. I always give thanks to my teacher who passed away a couple years ago, but that man taught me just how to stick to the script and how to like when if it's a design, like how to make it so that it pops and like, you know, just giving people exactly what it is that they want, you know. And I don't know, I feel like I've encompassed that, and that's how I tackle any job that comes my way, man. And thankfully it's served its purpose with me, man. I thank that dude every day when I come up with a new design. I'm just like, wow, yeah, that dude. I mentioned it on Jody B podcast because like when we would be in class, we would have these like sessions of drawing sessions. Like if we're coming up with a logo, he's like, all right, 10 minutes. I need you to come up with 3 samples for this logo for like a hamburger stand and this and this and that. So you'd have people like trying to put their own twist on it, like their own individualism on it and shit. But it's like, that's not your business. That's not your business. It's not your hamburger stand. It's this client's hamburger stand. So my teacher, almost every fucking day when we were doing those shits, he would grab my sketches and be like, well, but like, he'd be like, let me see what you did. Oh, well, you know, well, see, you're not grasping the concept. Look at what Fernando did right here. He did this and he did that like that. Like, I know motherfuckers probably thought I was the teacher's pet and shit. Like, nah, I'm a fuck. I just know I just figured this old man out. I know what it is he likes. I somehow figured him out, and I apply that to all my shit, man. So I got to give thanks to Dennis Landry every day that I can, man. That poor man.
But don't underestimate your own talent for that as well, because that is like how some people can just open their mouth and they've never sung a note before and they can sing beautifully. Or if they just pick up a guitar and they can pick it up like wonderfully in a week. And you're like, how? I've been practicing for a year and I can't play that good. Like there is the thing that I don't have that I've had to learn. And I would still say I don't have it. I just kind of understand it, and it's the concept of something being aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. Because like just how my job would be, like I would do some, you know, not all but some finish work, and I used to put no thought into it at all. I would just put pipes sticking up wherever. My boss is like, yo, he's like, he's like, I want you to go stand by the sliding glass door, and I want you to pretend you live here. And I want you to walk out, and I want you to tell me what you would complain about if someone built this for you and you just spent $80,000.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I get that. But like that didn't come naturally to me. I was like, that's where it goes. I'm just putting it there. What?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I said, that's what it boils down to, is some people have to learn how to learn, you know? And once you've figured that part out, man, the rest of it, you can apply it to a lot of different shit. I still love when Wutzke says, I don't art. Like he breaks it down in the most simplistic of terms. He's just like, I don't art, but that dude does. He does. He undersells himself almost every fucking day. And I keep telling him like, oh God, here we go again, bro. Like you're fucking gifted, bro. Like to me, Wutzke's one of like the most talented podcast hosts that I know. Like that man is just business all the way fucking through, and I've learned a lot of shit from him as well. Like he created the official read, you know what I'm saying? Like he sat back and looked at my brand and was like, rooted in hip hop and pop culture, you know what I'm saying? Like he fucking came up with that shit, dude. So it's like, you know, people are creative just in different lanes, you know, and it's just you got to do what you can with what you got, you know, and you can't always be upset that you can't do a certain thing, Like you said, fuck, I would love to be able to play this ukulele I got hanging right here, but I can't. I don't. My one hand is cool, other hand is lost as shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I guess I'll just stick to doing my one hand with my mouse, and I'm good.
Yeah.
And but yeah, man, you got to work with what you get. People learn different shit. People are creative in different ways.
But we're always just jealous and looking for the other thing.
This is
Like,
true.
dude, as much as like, I don't know. Maybe if I was a design guy, I would be more jealous that you got to be on a Hulu show. But like, I don't know you. Like the first time we actually ever even spoke was on Mikey's show, The Winner's Circle, for the
Right.
Untrained Eye when you decimated us.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
There was just a pile of ash where we used to be sitting.
It's all good, bro. You lasted like 4 episodes, man. I lost the next week. You know what I'm saying? I lost to Uncle Randy, man, and yeah.
But what was I gonna say? I don't know. It's been a long day.
Derailed and shit.
What was I saying?
I hate when that happens.
Oh, because like I don't know, like we had never met before,
Yeah.
And even before we had been on the Winner's Circle, before anything, like I don't know, like I can be happy for you and your achievements. Like it's so weird to me to be rooting against someone, even more so when you don't know them. Like that's what I don't get, because like Chris, like you were saying, talking about him and him underestimating himself. Every once in a while he'll let go. He'll be like, yeah, man, he's like, we're getting hate from this side and that side and everywhere. And I'm like, it boggles my mind, because clearly no one cares about any show I'm on enough to expend hate towards it. But like, I've never really experienced that hate, and I don't know how I would react to it, but I definitely don't understand it. Like, especially at the level that we're all at, because we're all pretty much on the same playing field, as far as the podcast thing is concerned. And like when Chris got his On It sponsor, like I'm messaging him like, dude, that's awesome. Like,
right?
Why would you be jealous of that? Now you know it's possible. Like, okay, he did it. Okay, all right. At least I can start working towards something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, like it's funny when people come in and we tell them that we're sponsored by Dude Wipes. They're like, "What the fuck? Like, how did y'all make that happen?" And shit. I reached out to him. I mean, I kind of finessed it a little bit, man. I kind of told him like, "Look, I'm a graphic designer. If you guys, bring us in, man, I'll be doing all kinds of little things for you, videos, this and that, like that." So that might have helped a little bit, but I mean. Yeah, it cracks me up when people undersell themselves like that. But the hate shit is real, bro. Like, there's people out here that they're just jealous that you can do shit that they can't, and they came from the exact same place that you come from. It's just it's a sickness, man, that some people have, and it sucks. I've lost friends over the way people have changed, man. Like my best man in my wedding, I don't even talk to that dude no more, because he just totally switched up, and it was a weird experience. I was like, why? Like what happened? And why are you letting all this inner hate? Why are you worrying about what the next man has? And you got to understand, people got to do with what they can. Not everybody has the same opportunities, but if you're a hustler and you understand that you have to do for self, man, you're going to build those opportunities yourself. It's like I said, like that was the main reason why I reached out outside of the city of where I'm from when it came to the podcast, man, because it was just a different territory. Like I said, I feel like I caught a lot of slack with that magazine shit. So I tried something different, and it's panned out, man. It's cool to go into my analytics and see all the different places on the map where people were getting downloads and shit. You know what I mean? So it's just, you just gotta keep doing the best you can with what you can. And then, as far as hating what the next man does, man, everybody gets a little jealous every now and then. It's the people that act on it that, when you cross that line, you officially become a hater, then, because you got to live with that shit. And then sometimes I feel like people just hate so much that it just becomes it becomes second nature to them, and they've just been engulfed. They have all this hatred inside and this jealousy, and it drives people to do stupid shit, man. And it sucks, but that's just how some people are, man. And I love that there is people that, there's, like you said, you're the type of guy that's like, you be happy for somebody else doing good, because that's just you. That's the way you are. That's the way you work. I think it's just everybody that's been brought up differently, and if I feel like if the parents were haters, the kids are gonna be haters. So it's in the blood, man. So you just gotta just I don't know, fucking haters.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I do get it. Like it is, because I don't know. For me personally, I'll say sometimes it's just fun to be mean. So, if you're just like how everybody busts on Jason and will never stop, they just owl me. They'll just
owl me.
Yeah, they just never let this guy go ever. Like he can't have a moment of peace.
That dude, man, he's crazy. He's on a whole nother level. I was listening to the newest Creatures last night, and I can't remember what Adam said about his testicles, and fucking Almy hit him with I got more degrees than you got testicles. And I was like, damn. I was like, bro, that was fucking killer. I even sent it in the chat. I was like, wow. I was like, that's the fucking line of the century, bro. Like that shit had me cracking up doing work at the salon last night. I was like, wow, that was good. That was good. Yeah, he's a character, man. People love to give him shit, man, because if you let him get going, he'll keep going. So that's where people are like, oh god, here we go. Here's another fucking Almy rant. But the man knows his shit, man. The man knows his shit, man.
Listen, he hasn't been going this long because he's not entertaining. So,
right? Oh, gosh, yeah, man. That guy's he needs his own fucking sitcom, man. That dude's awesome.
But I will say, as far as haters go, and I think that, because I don't know, because when I've heard that people hate on you guys, like the inner circle specifically, it makes me think that, because how I see you guys is it's something that doesn't normally exist. Like there is no, look at all the networks out there, really. Like which ones are even partially doing what you're doing? And by that, I mean, even releasing regularly or trying to do anything extra outside of your normal shows, or even promoting each other on each other's shows, having each other on each other's shows. It's not normal. And the fact that you guys are able to do that is a testament to your ethic, your work ethic, and your commitment to that. And I think that it is easy to be like, well, I'm part of something. Why are my guys doing this?
Right,
you guys.
I mean, that's what it boiled down to when we call it the mutiny. Okay, that was when we were all on the NSFW, and then one day I get a text from Wutsky and from Simmons and from fucking Riley, and they're like, "Hey, bro, we're getting ready to start our own shit. Are you down?" And I was like, well, yeah, I'm pretty much down, because the dudes that hit me up were the ones that were consistently putting out work, and I was like, yeah, I'll ride with these dudes, man. And when you have that kind of an experience, you know what I'm saying? It's like you develop this camaraderie and shit. There's strength in numbers. And it wasn't until after that happened, I honestly thought that what we were doing was like completely new. I didn't know there was so many different little podcast networks out there and this and that. And I was like, it wasn't until after we had really started the inner circle that I figured out that there was a bunch of different podcast networks, because we were talking about names and shit. So I was doing my homework and I was like, what about this? And somebody's like, nah, that's already out there. I was like, really? What the fuck? Really? And then I look it up on Twitter and I'm like, holy shit, this one says they got 40 podcasts in this bitch. And I just thought that, that was the thing that we all agreed upon, man. It was like, we're going to keep it, it's the inner circle, they say keep your circle small. So we never really wanted it to be something that was going to be super big with a bunch of different people. And, I'm just thankful that the dudes that are in the circle, man, they've just been, they've been really cool. And then I feel like having that meetup, man, it just solidified our bonds, bro. It was just a cool ass time being around these motherfuckers I'd never met in my life, but I felt like I already knew them by the time I got to Jersey and shit. When Joe B was there to pick me up at the airport and shit, I was like, what's up, Joe B? I'd never seen this dude in my life before, but it was just like, what's up, dog? It is what it is. We've been doing this shit, and yeah, man, it's been a really cool vibe. And yeah, I'm just thankful for those dudes, man, because honestly, without them, I probably would have maybe thought about quitting this shit a while back. Because there's, like I said, there's times where shit can get overwhelming, but uh, for what it's built and like the fact that we do have fans now and shit, to me, it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm doing this for my peoples, and I'm doing this for me and for the homies in the inner circle, and it's just that's what keeps us going, man. It's just a family, bro. It's really cool.
And like when you have people on your show, like that's part of what all of you guys having people, not just guys from the inner circle, but just having guests on your show is what made kind of helped me towards that with this show, because part of the reason why I started listening to other shows or knowing of other companies, whether other clothing brands or whatever it is from podcasts now. Like that is the main source of where I get my information. And like, I've been very fortunate on this show to have either anyone I've reached out to say yes immediately, or people, reach out to me and be like, hey, what if I was on the show? I'm like, it's crazy to me that people would want to be on it, but I like the people I've had on. I want people to listen to your shows. I want them to buy your stuff. I want them to check out your designs, whatever it is. And it's like, I don't know. I don't remember what my point was, but I think it's good to get people out there that you like. And I think you do that well on your show as well too, because there was I meant to look back today, but there was a guy that you had on. It was within the past few months. I don't know if he was a local rapper or what it was, but you and Century were talking to this guy, and it wasn't until like towards the end that somehow it got out that you guys had just met that day. And I was like, these guys are amazing at interviews. I would have never guessed that they had never spoke, because the guy said it. He was like, yeah, it's crazy. Something about it was crazy that this was the first time you guys had met. And up until that point, I would have sworn that you and Century had known that dude forever. So I don't know. I think there's I don't know. I think there's something good about that, and that lets people that already like you will see the things you like and how you interact with people and go, okay, I like Kaz. Like, I want to try this guy out. I want to see what's going on with those, orange cream Twizzlers. What's up?
Right. Yeah, I was surprised as shit. Like, I mean, I was excited that you reached out to me, and then like the same exact day, Jody B reached out to me too. So like, I just did his podcast yesterday, and then here I am with you, and it's just, yeah, man, it's cool to just connect with different people trying to do shit. I think the Hood Diner to me is like an extension of what the 520 magazine was. A lot of those guys that I was doing interviews with back in the day, those have been people that we've brought in. Like, okay, I gotta ask you again, how do you know Cash Lansky, bro?
So I do a show with my wife Beth called The Untrained Eye, and she was not into podcasts really at all. And as a good husband, I forced her into doing that podcast. But so she did agree to do the show, but she doesn't. She's another one that doesn't give herself enough credit, because she was like, all right, I want to do my own research. I don't want to. She didn't tell me this until later. She's like, I want to go and find my own indie shows that I like and that I want to listen to, and then I'll, bring them to the show or whatever. And she just happened to find Cash's show, him and
Rip D.
What was that show called? It's
Cool With Us, I believe is what it was called.
Yes. And she loved that show. Yeah. And we're recommending it on our show, and then they just disappear. And it's like, I want to say, I don't really know. I don't remember what episode we were on when they had finally stopped. And I just chalked it up to any other podcast that just went away. And then cut to like a year or more later, where we start knowing Chris from #NoOffense a little bit, and then right around that time was when you guys were in the mutiny stages, and so the inner circle started, and then I started knowing about, oh, here's the Plunge, here's the Hood Diner. All right, I'll check out the Hood Diner. And I swear I must have listened to like 10 or 15 episodes of the Hood Diner before you or Century was like, and yeah, it's like when I think one of you guys said Cash, and I was like, you just said Cash, and I was like, wait, I know Cash Lansky was from Arizona. I wonder if they're talking about that Cash Lansky. And then
Yeah.
later in the episode, you said Cash Lansky, and I was like, Beth, you got to listen to this episode. They know Cash Lansky. Oh my God. Like we were blown away that we're like, how could it be? Because there was like no rhyme or reason to how she found that show or why she picked it. Like she was just like, oh, it's okay. They're with us. All right, let's see what this is all about.
Right. Total indie podcast, man. They did like, I think up to like, I want to say 20 episodes before they dipped out.
Yep.
But I love that. And see, honestly, it was Century who sat in on it on one of their podcasts that made him want to start our podcast. So we kind of owe it to them a little bit too. And then as far as Cash goes, Cash was the first person I put on the cover of the 520 magazine. Like
Really?
He's been on two covers. I only did like 5. And he's been on 2 of them because, yeah, like when he was blowing up, man, like that was when I was big on doing the magazine shit. So I went to all the shows. You know, I got to design his first album cover, which was called Simplicity. And on that album, I'm on 2 of his tracks. Like I got to rap with him too. Like I got to do a verse and the hook on one, and then I did the hook on another one. And I have to send you those tracks because I don't think you can get them anywhere online, but I'll send them to you, man. It's some old school shit. But yeah, man, it was a trip that you guys knew Cash Lansky and all that shit too, man. It's cool as shit. But
Dude, it was cool because like you knowing who he was, or us realizing, oh, he's still out there because we're dumb. We're just like, I don't know, the guy disappeared. I don't know. We still were new to social media, I guess. But we ended up like he put out that like limited single with like the little fist on the vinyl. We were able to get one of those. Like, nice. It's crazy. Like, it's funny because like we have now both become like true legit fans of him. And even though like I've DM'd with him in the past, I'm like, I don't want to hit him up too much and be like, hey man, what's going on? How you doing?
he's a very down to earth guy, man. That dude's cool as shit. He's like one of like Tucson's main representatives when it comes to the hip hop game here, bro. Like he's just been putting in work. Like I feel like the Tucson hip hop scene is like inches away from the goal line, man. For somebody down here is going to get signed to something big, and you know, then Arizona is going to be on the map for, you know, for this and that. But that dude, man, he's been putting in work, so much work, bro. He's just been a good friend of mine for a good while, and yeah, man, he's a cool cat. He's definitely a cool cat. It was cool bringing him in on the podcast and getting to know him. And yeah, like I said, it's just been a continuation of that magazine. All these guys that have continued just putting in work. Like that's what that was the point of the magazine, was to showcase the people out here really grinding, you know. And then eventually it got to the point to where guys that like I'd never even heard of and I wasn't really big fans of their music, they're like, well, what if I pay you, bro? Will you put us in the magazine? Now you're questioning my you know, my intelligence and you know, all that shit. And it's just, you know, that's kind of the way it is with the podcast. You know, we've been trying to bring in different like business owners, different artists. You know, I brought in some barber homies of ours and just, you know, just to shoot the shit with them and just try to get really good information for somebody who might have been thinking about becoming a barber, or maybe thinking about becoming a DJ, or maybe thinking about becoming a videographer. You know, I think that's one of the main things as a host, is you want to get the most that you can out of the person that you bring in. This way your listeners leave with something, you know, leave with something positive, you know. And I think that's and I'm pretty positive that that's something I picked up off of watching a damn tutorial on how to be a better podcast host. Like like real shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Anything I've done, YouTube has been involved in one way or another, you know? So yeah, man, it's good shit.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because I always like, this has been the first one in a few that normally before the show starts, like right before the show starts, I like to just, whatever comes to my head that might be a question or like a talking point, I like to just write it down. I don't necessarily look at it, but I like to have written it out. And this is one that like, I feel like we've had a good conversation. Did not have time to do that at all. Like I wasn't sure. Like I was working right up until you DM me, and I was like, all right, here we go.
Hey man, but that's good. That's just, you know what I'm saying? That just goes to show you're a good host, man. You know what to ask, you know how to get what you know what you can out of the guests while you have them in front of you, man. So yeah, it's good shit, bro. You're definitely a good host, man.
Well, I wasn't fishing for the compliment, but I'll take it.
Hey, it's yours, baby. It's yours.
Well, I don't know how much are you like about up against it? Do you need to go record yours?
Let me see. Century sent me a message here. He says he's running behind. So nah, man, we can go for another little while. I gotta leave probably by at least 7.
I don't know what time that is here.
It is 6:40 here my time. So we could probably wrap up in a couple, like maybe 10 minutes or something.
That's cool, man.
You got any more questions and shit?
Let me think. What? I feel like I have never heard the official answer, but why OHFISHL?
You know, I don't, you know, I really don't know exactly what it was. I know I got the word official because I was really big on Robin Big at the time. At the time, I loved watching Robin Big. And then when they saw something that they loved, that's all they said. They're like, man, that's official. That is official right there. So, and you know, it never dawned on me to spell it right. And it wasn't until about 6 months after I started the brand that I realized there was an actual official brand, like out of California, that's spelled correctly. And but I really don't know what it is, man. I think I've always just been that type of person that like is like tripped out about the way shit's spelled, like Bologna and lasagna. You know, sometimes I like to just like break it down for people and just like simplify shit. And I remember it was while I was in school, and one day I wrote it out and I showed it to my mother-in-law, and I was like, "What does this say?" And she's like, "Oh, fish shell." I was like, "Boom, done." I was like, if she could look at this and sound it out the way it's supposed to be said, then there it is. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted it to be unique, you know, and that's like the cool thing about it. Like, you know, that's what's trademarked is actually the name, like not the little O with the crown. Because logos, you can update them, they can come and go. You know, you see businesses all the time updating logos and shit, but the name is what really matters.
Yeah.
So you know, like I said, I think it was really just the Robin Big shit, and then something about spelling shit wrong. I mean, look, like I said, look at how I spell kAZual, bro. Like it don't start with a K. You know, there ain't no Z in kAZual, but when you look at it, well, people say kAZual. Like that's what I'm like, no, come on, sound it out. You know what it says. Oh, kAZual. Okay, so like I've just been a fan of just doing weird shit like that. Like I think before we came up with Inner Circle, I had a bunch of them that were spelled all wrong, and they were like, nah, don't do that shit, bro. They're like, not here. I was like, all right, let's move on to something else then. But yeah, that's what it was. It's just I just wanted it to be unique, man, and I think it has been. And the fact that it's just like, you know, it's the O, the fish, and then the L. And just simplified, you know.
You know what's funny is I don't know what it was, because every time I've heard any of those other shows be like, in this segment sponsored by Official Clothing, and they spell it out, and I'm telling you, like the first 10 times I've heard them spell it, I'm like, wait a minute, and I have to like back it up one time. I'm like, I think they said it wrong. Like,
yeah,
nope, it didn't. My brain doesn't work.
Look at Bobby Moore, go to officialclothing.com, and I'm like, no, bro, there's no clothing in there and shit. But like that is the shitty part. I'm like, if you notice, that's what I do whenever I mention shit. I spell out my name because it's different, and I spell out the official.com because I'm pretty sure I've sent that other fucking brand plenty of work from people being like, oh, did you go to official? Yeah, like, dude, that's not my hat. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why we kind of spell it out. That's the one downside to that. But I mean, that's why I'm thankful that the homies have adopted that. When they hear me doing it, I'll say, yeah, you go to official.com. That's OHFISHL.com. And just, you know, you got to spell it out for people. So, I mean, I'm sure I've probably lost a little bit of sales because of that, but not enough where I'm losing any sleep over it, you know?
It's funny because it did just finally click with me. Like within the past week, I'm like, OHFISHL, got it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's cool. And then plus, like, I've always known that, like, when it comes to like .coms and domains, it's always best to like keep it as short as possible, you know. So that's where like it's missing like a couple, you know, it's missing a few vowels there, but you know, it works, man. It works. And like I said, since my mother-in-law was able to sound it out, she sold me. I was like, dude, if this little old lady can figure that out, shit, people gonna figure that out. They'll get it.
Well, sir, I think we're about at the end, but I really enjoyed our chat.
I did too, man. I appreciate it, man. It's been fun.
If you'd like, I would say plug all your stuff again, podcast, design, whatever.
Sure, man. You can find me everywhere at kAZual 520 on the socials. That's kAZual 520. The podcast is The Hood Diner. You can find us at thehooddiner.com, and there you can get the links to all the socials and all the sponsors and shit. And then of course the brand is official, ohfishl.com. Go there, use code HOOD, get 25% off and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So I you know what, this is a pretty good way to end this shit like that. But like, would you like to be sponsored by Official?
Sure. I'll be sponsored by Official.
I'll give you your own little, because honestly, man, like I actually asked Wutsky about this maybe like about a month ago, because I was like, dude, like I've been noticing DJ, usually he's been plugging this shit every time he drops a new episode. I'm tagged in it and he's in there talking about these are the brands we support, man. And I appreciate that, bro. Like for reals, like we've never really spoken on that or anything. And you just out of the kindness of your heart have been, supporting my brand for months on end, bro. So I feel like the only way I could, repay you, bro, is to give you your own little, you let me know what you want it to be. You let me know what code you want. If you want it to be, code table dragger or whatever you want it to be, you send me a message and I'll make you one tonight so that all your listeners can get 25% off at the website, man, which is dope because there's so many people that still go to the website and this little 10% off thing pops up. And I'm like, that's what you use? You don't listen to the podcast all the way, do you? No, you don't. But shit, 25% off, man. The other day I sold 2 of these bracelets, and the dude, it was like $100 and the dude got them for $75. I was like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have put those bracelets on that shit. But hey, man, shout out to the people that listen and know what code to use, man. And all the homies have it. All the Plunge, the Hollywood, Sam PC, HC Nas, they've been pushing that shit for me, and then they've been buying shit. You've bought shit. So yeah, man, I appreciate you pushing the brand. And, like I said, you didn't have to, but you did. So the only way I can thank you, man, is by, at least, giving you your own code. And you can tell people, man, look at, this is the homies brand. We're sponsored by them, man. So, thank you again.
Dude, I appreciate that, but I look at it as like these are people I know, even if it's just digitally. And you've got small businesses that if I had a small business, I would want people to buy my stuff. So I like it. I like you guys. So why not?
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Like I said, you send me what you want your code to be, bro, and I'll plug it into the Shopify shit tonight.
Awesome. All right, everyone. If you like the music that you heard on this episode, you can go to kullah.com. That is CULLAH.com. And you can hear all that music for free. And as you just heard, there will be what is it? A coupon? Nope. A promo code in the show notes for if you want to go to ohfishl.com.
Yeah, baby. Hell yeah.
All right, everyone. Fernando, kAZual, thank you for being here tonight.
DJ, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. It's been fun.
Thanks, man. All right, everybody, keep dragging.